Hello, Uta Hagen here of Trans Widow Uta Hagen YouTube channel and blog on Substack, utahagen.substack.com. And you can find information there about my previous blog, which is on WordPress. I am reading my open letter to Senator Elizabeth Warren because she had hired this male who claims to be a female, Amy Challenor, who has a sketchy past of stating that children are capable of consenting to sex with adults. And he comes from a history in the UK where his father was convicted of sexual assault of children. And for some reason, during her unsuccessful campaign to be the Democratic candidate for president in 2020, she had this Challenger person working on her staff as, the TQ plus Two-Spirit outreach, person. And that was pretty sketchy. And as well, Simon Price, a desister, is in her district, and he's been treated very badly. And as well, I have a sad tale about a female identifying father of a young child shaking his 1-year-old dangerously. And I had this individual who had witnessed it find me and send me messages going back about 3 years. So this child is approaching school age. And when I said, you have to report this because this is very, very dangerous, she was asking me, Massachusetts is so captured. Do you think they'll go and call the police and, check on this child because there's also drug paraphernalia in the house? And I'm afraid these people will know it's me that reported. And do you think they'll keep my anonymity? So because on the last video that I've linked here in our posts, in our linked videos posts, this therapist who helps detransitioners in South Africa, Vincent Deloney, mentioned this drug connection, and that in almost 100% of the cases that he's seen of detransitioners, these kids were smoking quite a lot of marijuana during their early teens, and they were also watching pornography. So there's this pornography and drugs link with this cross-sex ideation. Okay, so I've posted this at utahagen.substack.com. Feel free to copy it and say, I agree with everything that Uta Hagen says, or copy and edit, copy, paste, and edit, and write your experiences as collateral damage and etc. And tell Elizabeth Warren that she is no women's rights advocate. She is a pharma corporation's advocate. Senator Warren, you are sorely misinformed about, in quotes, trans kids. I write on behalf of your constituent Simon Price. A simple internet search will bring his experiences to your attention. Too many vulnerable youth like him, sexually assaulted at age 14, start identifying as trans, in quotes, in trauma-induced body dissociation. He dressed as a female for a year in college, but decided not to go on hormones or plan to have sex trait modification surgeries on his urinary tract. Though he was not suicidal, a therapist, of course, a gender specialist from that place, the Boston Children's whatever, told him and his father that he would commit suicide if he didn't follow the body modification path. That is malpractice. He expressed his choice not to change his body through a senior music project at Berklee School of Music and was harassed, threatened, and later blocked by Berklee from performing his concert, which he was entitled to and paid tuition for. MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, allowed him to have it in their facilities. Because he's become a public figure, Simon, that is, a young man over 6 foot tall who never would have passed as female, he's often harassed and shouted at when he is out in public. You therefore support lawlessness and assault. You never tell your followers to be civil to detransitioners. And I don't think you've heard of trans widows. Your supporters advocate for this despicable treatment of a citizen who now plans to enroll in the military after scoring in the 99th percentile on the first battery of exams. You and the Democratic Party owe him an apology. By the way, I didn't put this in the letter, but I hear that enrollment in the military is up, and I'm very glad to hear that because, the military had become something else than a defense organization. I continue in my letter. I am a trans widow, also collateral damage from your beloved trans ideology. My ex-husband deceived me for years, spending thousands of family money on fake business trips, during which he cross-dressed and had anonymous sex with strange men. I am very fortunate that I did not contract STDs from his risky behavior. I was at home alone with an infant and toddler while he was doing this. You and your staff must watch Behind the Looking Glass at Lime Soda Films YouTube channel. It's the only documentary on the wife's experiences when a husband, in quotes, identifies as female. I keep the only data in the world on trans widows' experiences, and with 66 women's information in my survey, 20 questions to ask a trans widow, I find that over 1/3 of us were sexually assaulted by a husband before she managed to escape. Several of the rapes were reported, but none prosecuted. In fact, I know of an unreported crime in your state, Senator Warren, by a father who claims to, in quotes, be a woman. He fathered a child, unplanned, and a neighbor learned of me and wrote to ask me if she should report this man's physical abuse of his baby daughter. She witnessed him shaking her, a 1-year-old, in a rage. She asked me if I thought Massachusetts was too captured to take her report seriously and rescue the child. Would they keep her anonymity if she reported this crime against a child? She might be dead now, this child, for all I know. Often we trans widows know that men have manic episodes when they start taking estrogen. You are woefully uninformed. I replied to this bystander that she must report this violence, and it will be on her if she does not and learns later that this child has been killed. This man is a drug and alcohol addict, a fact not explored by the mental health profession as to whether this patient coming in with cross-sex ideation should perhaps, enter drug or alcohol withdrawal treatment before they start talking about who they are inside their head. That's just an aside. I didn't put that in the letter. Okay. Your insistence, Senator Warren, that these people are saints puts women and children in danger. Practitioners in the gender therapy world claim that wives often happily stay in a marriage after the husband says he's female. This is unfounded. No one else in the world has followed up on our experiences. Most of us are later diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. We struggle to support our children when the husband refuses financial support. Some of these men sue for custody, making false accusations of the mothers of the children he fathered. This actually happened to both me and Tracy Shannon. Some of these, yes, men sue for custody. Okay. You made the mistake of hiring, this is Senator Warren did this, made the mistake of hiring Amy Challenor in your presidential campaign, a man whose father molested children and who is himself not sure whether children can consent or not to sex with an adult. That was a mistake, Senator Warren. It will follow you with whatever you do from now on. Behind the Looking Glass documentary also has a daughter's tale of her father's psychological abuse when he claimed he was her mother, too. He literally did not take her to the doctor for regular health checkups. She was neglected and verbally abused by her father. This is Emma from Behind the Looking Glass. I refuse to say my ex-wife or former partner about my ex-husband. He was and still is a man, despite surgeries and heavy makeup. He claims to be a mom. He listed me as caregiver on official school forms for our children. Do you support that, Elizabeth Warren? Do you call me a birthing body? Do you call me a cervix haver? Shame on you, Senator Warren. He committed, this is my ex, financial fraud in court twice to get out of paying stipulated child support and his share of in-state college tuition. And he was a CEO in tech company Gallery Systems. You have no idea how much is spent on the therapy for my cohort of abused wives. Most therapists in states like yours further abuse the wives, telling us that we have to say she, her of our abusers. That's all in my data. Democrats took a big loss last November and will continue to lose as you insist that puberty blockers don't weaken bone structure, that testosterone does not increase the deaths from heart attacks and kidney failure in women, and that estrogen does not increase the deaths from pulmonary embolism and heart disease in men. You are grossly and willfully misinformed, and you have adopted a trans as a cause to prove that you are not racist. You're a sexist, Senator Warren, who does not protect women and girls. It is well known already that detransitioners consider trans ideology to be a cult. This is now really quite confirmed in all of the information that detransitioners are giving to people who are working with them. You are a groomer, Elizabeth Warren, and somewhere in your state of Massachusetts, a daughter of a dangerous male claiming to be female is at risk for her life because, according to you, this doesn't happen. And that is if this very young girl is still even alive.